Look at the national flag of Zimbabwe, and you'll see a stately yellow bird sitting on a pedestal. Millions of citizens carried this image in their pockets on banknotes and saw it on official government seals every single day. Yet, for over a century, the physical statues that actually inspired these symbols were missing from the country. These 8 soapstone eagles originally stood watch over Great Zimbabwe, a massive medieval stone city built between the 11th and 15th centuries. They were planted on high walls and monoliths, serving as sacred guardians for the Shona people. Authorities eventually located the most pristine specimen of these sacred guardians, sitting outside as a decorative lawn ornament on a Cape Town estate. The estate belonged to Cecil Rhodes, the British imperialist who personally spearheaded the colonization of modern-day Zimbabwe. Reclaiming these statues required a 40-year logistical war, forcing Zimbabwe to navigate complex legal loopholes and agree to one of the strangest scientific barters in modern history. The original theft occurred in 1889. A European hunter named Willie Posselt stumbled upon the ruins and decided he wanted a specimen. Locals armed with spears tried to stop him, but Posselt handed over a few blankets and ripped one of the birds from its column. Posselt sold that specific bird to Rhodes. Soon after, a commissioned archaeologist returned, found the remaining statues and shipped 4 to South Africa, while another's pedestal was sold to a Berlin museum. The statues remained scattered until 1980, when Zimbabwe won its independence. Their new president, Robert Mugabe, immediately launched a campaign to recoup the missing birds, describing their loss as a ruthless cultural plunder. The following year, South Africa's apartheid government agreed to release the 4 birds it held in a Cape Town museum, but they demanded a highly specific, non-monetary ransom. Zimbabwe had to hand over exactly 1,000 rare bees, wasps, and ants from their Natural History Museum's collection in exchange for the 4 stone statues. This transaction effectively equated rare biological samples with religious artifacts, a clinical swap that prioritized museum inventory over the spiritual significance of the stone carvings. That insect trade still left a few pieces missing, including the birds still held at the Cape Town estate of Cecil Rhodes. When Rhodes died, his home and its contents were vested to the South African government. This triggered a bureaucratic roadblock, the Rhodes Will Act of 1910. This inheritance law dictated none of Rhodes's possessions could be transferred. Every time Zimbabwe asked, South Africa cited the 1910 Act to refuse. To bypass the ban, they classified the return as a temporary 2-year loan, using this window to amend the act for permanent repatriation. Reclaiming the statue meant finding a way around the specific mandates of the 1910 Act, a law that successfully kept the bird on South African soil for over a century. 137 years after being taken, the 8 Zimbabwe birds are together again, housed in an on-site museum at the Great Zimbabwe ruins for protection. This homecoming stands out in a period of increasing restitution. It is a rare instance of an African country returning heritage to a neighbor, rather than a former colonial power yielding to a campaign from Europe. The bird arrived alongside 8 sets of human remains, previously exhumed by researchers and donated to a South African museum. South African Minister of Culture Gayton Mackenzie noted that colonial logic viewed both the sacred statues and human bodies as data to be extracted from their homeland. With the birds back at Great Zimbabwe, the physical core of the nation's identity is restored. The statues are no longer items on a foreign inventory, but permanent fixtures of the site where they were first carved.